Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sunday League Pundits here on the 90th minute. Over there, we got Wazinho.
Hi, how's it going? Good time.
Yep, that's that. We got Greggy as well.
Hello.
We got Brett.
Aloha.
and I am Liam.
No one can follow up what was.
I was trying to remember what I said last time, and
We were. But welcome to another episode of the Sunday League Pundits here on the 90th minute YouTube, as well as the audio apps, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Welcome if you are new, and welcome back if this is you returning. So, another week of football has passed.
Yeah, there's a lot has happened. I mean, where do we start? Where do you start? I mean, especially
do we start with football or do we start with extortion?
That's a great question.
Let's start with the weird,
because
the weird thing making the rounds online right now. So
well, I need you guys to tell me because I actually haven't heard anything.
Paul Pogba.
I don't think anyone fully understands what's happening because all will be revealed.
All I know is it's about Pogba.
So Lucas sent it in the group today, and he sent it because there's been news that came out the day that we're recording this, that Paul Pogba has actually been caught up in what we're going to get into in a little bit. But how it started was a video of his brother Matthias. It came out or surfaced, I guess, saying that on September 1st or on this certain day that the truth will come out about Paul Pogba, his new agent, because his old agent was Mina Raiola, but now the agent who took over and was closest to his old agent, and also Kylian Mbappe, which has come out to be something absolutely fantastic as well. But I
haven't heard about what the Mbappe thing is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh.
But so there's this, it almost seemed like a hostage situation type video where you're like somebody's behind the camera going, you better say this, or
but it's possible.
So this was like posted on Twitter.
I believe so, by his brother, by Matthias Pogba.
Or Instagram. It looked like Instagram type hashtags too, but it's in French.
But the backstory is behind all this, at least on Pogba's side, was that former childhood friends of his, plus his brother, plus mob/mafia people, came to him when he was both at Manchester United and at Juventus, and didn't hold him hostage, but demanded he paid him 13 million euros due to unpaid work kind of thing. And they had guns and everything, and he was there, and he refused to pay because he goes, well, I'm not paying you. You didn't do anything. You didn't do any work for me kind of thing. And there was
a falling out.
Yeah, there was a falling out between these former friends.
And his brother.
His brother's involved with the friends/mafia. So it's weird. Supposedly he went to the Juventus lawyers and he goes, this is what's happening. So the lawyers are the kind of ones who have made steps to fix it or make it public kind of thing. But it's a very weird situation. Because like you said there, his brother Matthias, it looked like a very shady video kind of thing. And I go, maybe this is deeper than we really know.
Well,
and I also saw there's people are going, does this have links to, remember 6 months, a year ago when the journalist was breaking all those bombshell news about French footballers, especially how there was massive bribery and corruption and illegal bullshit going on.
I got this thing from from Twitter. Paul Pogba has issued a statement through his lawyers saying that he's been targeted for extortion and threats by an organized gang. Pogba's brother Matthias earlier posted on social media that he had explosive information and that he'll publish great revelations about Pogba.
Now, the Mbappe part to this is apparently, according to Matthias, Paul Pogba went to a family member of theirs who happens to be a witch doctor to cast a spell on Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, so I have it right here. Paul Pogba apparently claims the gang told him they would leak that the Juventus player asked a witch doctor in his family circle to cast a spell on Kylian Mbappe. in an attempt to put pressure on him, pressure on him to give into their £13 million blackmail attempts.
It's a weird situation.
I mean,
I'm just like, why does Mbappe come into this at all?
The French national team.
It's weird, and I get.
Is that illegal?
Is it illegal
To cast a spell on somebody?
I don't think so.
Okay,
It's
well,
more of those. That's frowned upon. Hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
black magic. It's not good.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
So right now we don't know.
no, we
A
don't
lot.
know much. I mean, we know what Matthias has said and what Paul has said, but it's a weird situation because if it was a gang extorting Pogba, you can see that happening. You can see that happen. It has happened before. But to involve a family member, especially his brother, who is very close to, I mean, they were together when he won the World Cup. Matthias was right there. Matthias is a player himself, or a former player. Yeah. It's very weird.
Well, like to that point too, that one of the not old Manchester, because he's still a Manchester United beat reporter, but one of the beat reporters who reported on United as Pogba was there, he tweeted out, he's like, Matthias would have got a $100,000 a week 4-year deal if Paul went there just to say it. You know, like that's the type of brotherhood or familyhood that they had. Like it was that close that if he went to and felt that strongly to towards his family, to the club, they would do it because that's how close it was. That's how much of a pull it was, or they had. And then now all of a sudden this is coming out, and it's like, okay, so then where did it all go wrong? If he could have been, and I'm not saying it was like, oh, we're chatting with Matthias Pogba. I keep wanting to say Matthias de Ligt. We're talking to Matthias Pogba with this contract, blah blah blah. But if Paul came to them and said, sign my brother, it would have been
a potential thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I say there's no solid links to that journalist who published all those breaking news kind of things, but I know a lot of that news that came out was to do with French football and French national team, and I go, could that have some links and ties? Because it's weird how much of a news story this may become. I think.
Well, right before the World Cup is all just.
I just noticed there's no national team has this kind of drama around it other than the French national team. I know the English national team has stories about it, but the French national team always has drama. You know, you go back to 2010 even, and there's like stories about the French national team then. That's why they didn't perform well. Like
you look at the Valbuena situation.
Yeah, and
there's a lot going on with French football. It's
crazy that they got through the 2018 World Cup without any bad news.
I mean, this is one of those things that we're gonna have to wait on and see what comes out more about it. At least, you know, when if Matthias does put this video out on September 1st, or more comes out in the days that follow. So it's gonna be a wait and see what happens situation.
Yeah, it falls into that kind of because Lucas was the one who shared it in our group. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry to the audio listeners there, but Lucas was the one who put it in our group chat and was like, "Here's this is what's going on," and I was like. It still was. I wasn't sure if I should be like following it until all of these like verified accounts started posting about it, and you have the articles now of people like who are reporting on it. Bleacher Report, ESPN, Sky News, like all these publications,
legit news sources. Yeah. No, it's a weird thing. Should we move on to the actual football now?
Yeah. No more extortion.
Last week we spent the entirety on the Premier League, and you know what, we're going to spend some time in the Premier League as well, but we'll also do other leagues, the La Liga, because I know Waz is a huge Barcelona fan.
Very big.
We'll also
admitted it.
He admitted Bundesliga. But we'll get into football. Let's start in the Premier League. In terms of results this week, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Let's do, I think, the most shocking one first up. It happened again. No Premier League game will ever end 9-0. Well, I've done that again.
3 times since we've done that.
Fucking 4. But the Premier League game was a Scottish game.
Hey! I'm talking about the Premier League, but
yeah, baby. Hey, well, Liverpool have
we don't talk about your
Liverpool have defeated Bournemouth 9-0. this week. Somebody, for the love of God, just relegate Bournemouth already.
Yeah, I'm honestly,
Get them gone. They're terrible.
honestly, actually, who's worse, Bournemouth or Aston Villa?
Bournemouth.
Aston Villa lost to Bournemouth, right? Like, so it's just
Villa are shocking.
they are
Yeah,
shocking.
that
We'll
is
get to them
bad.
later, but like Bournemouth got battered 9-0.
Now you talk about just straight up relegate Bournemouth
get
though,
them
but
out.
Southampton lost 9-0 twice, and they still haven't been relegated.
Yeah, but I'm-
but
you got a
Bournemouth-
point there, but Bournemouth have been shocking so far this Premier League season. Bournemouth
Yeah.
are scary. Bournemouth,
Well, they have a win, so
yeah, I don't know how.
which is
Villa.
something.
Yeah,
Villa.
and Southampton also like throughout those seasons weren't that bad.
They weren't
Well,
great
right
either.
They
now-
weren't great, but they weren't
Currently-
that
Do you remember
bad.
when Southampton were top of the league?
Yeah, they were.
Really?
They were
Southampton
top of the
top
league.
of the league.
Well,
Was it last
currently-
And we're
season?
I don't. Was it? Or was it the season before? Everyone was talking about Ralph especially Lucas. Lucas was really on like
Lucas
Ralph.
Ralph
was one of the-
Husenhatl.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Great
Can
manager.
you try that one more time, please?
No, I'm not.
He said Hussein Hattel.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Ralph Hassan Hootel.
Yeah. I mean, you're almost there.
The letters are all there. But it was 2-0 Liverpool within 10 minutes. Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott. Trent scored actually a really good goal. Bobby.
They were like a lot of. I mean, there was 9 of them, but so, like at least half of them were actually really
Good
nice goals.
Bobby Firmino, man of the match, definitely. 2 goals,
3 assists.
3 assists. I don't think Bobby Firmino is the man for Liverpool to lead the line, but he can do it against Bournemouth, and I guess that's all that counts.
He's still a great.
He's still a
player.
good footballer. Of course he is. It's
He
just
just doesn't have the
He's
legs.
just not-
and
he's
everything.
not dynamic enough for that front 3. And I know Lucas, but he creates space, he moves, he
No, I think Lucas
drops
would even,
back
I
under
would-
the
no,
ball.
I think Lucas would agree with you. It's just their goal scoring striker is currently suspended, right?
Yeah.
So it's just he's the only guy who can really play up top right now. For
No,
them.
for
It's-
sure.
He's
Well,
not,
Jota's injured too. So.
yeah, well,
Yeah, Jota and
you know what pissed me off about that match?
Mm.
Trent, he scores a beautiful goal. It was a great goal, but then he acts like he's some hot shit. Not like you just got embarrassed by Rashford. Not like you got embarrassed against Real Madrid in the Champions League final, but now you think you're hot
I
shit.
mean, you got to move on.
No, screw him. Like he's a
Just-
fraud.
you just don't ever move on. It's just
I
I
got
got wrecked by Rashford. I retire. Glory, glory, United. Like,
Hey, to be fair though, to your point,
he did.
Trent. No. Trent scored an absolute banger. That's where I wanted to go
Okay.
with his point. That was a beautiful goal.
It was a great.
That was a beautiful goal.
But here's the thing, and I've said this since since Trent came out. I think we're being around longer than Trent. It seems like. Anyways, Trent is incredible going forward, but he can't defend. Why not just put him in the midfield? Play a right back that can hold that back line.
I mean, you still have to defend it when you're at midfield.
Even
True.
not as much. He can still track back. It's just he's not as strong defensively.
I'm not too big into this train of he can't
But then
defend.
You think he can defend?
A
He
little
got
bit.
bodied by Alanga.
Yeah, listen, there are more clubs in the world
And just
than Manchester
He got
United.
toasted by Vinicius Jr.
Vinny.
And who happens to be one of the best in the world,
Yeah,
and
like,
guess what he
and-
was in, and how long ago
And
it
this
was.
guy's supposedly the best right back in the world. No, not my ass, man. That's Reece James.
Reece James.
I will give him this. I think Reece James
It's better
is-
than Trent.
He's as good every bit going forward. Maybe not goal scoring wise, but going forward, he's as good. He's better defensively.
He's better defensively.
I still think Kyle Walker's.
I just,
up in
I
that
just don't
conversation.
like the celebration of him. I don't like that. I don't like it.
He's going right. Look at me.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, I
yo.
scored against a couple fucking farmers. I'm so good now.
They're not farmers. They're in the Premier League.
But speaking of which, speaking of right backs or full backs, I guess, I want to give a quick shout because I think he is a Southampton player. Yeah, he is. Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah,
I think he's a hell of a
he is.
fullback,
He is.
and I think he should be in the conversation. I think he should be in a conversation of finding a bigger club. I'm surprised he hasn't this summer.
If Southampton get relegated, then
Yeah, but I
Even
think
in
still,
January,
even this year, I thought he should have been talking to clubs and.
I
starting
thought
to-
he would have been a good man for Chelsea other than Cucurella, but I know they were looking for a left back, not a right back.
I think he'd be perfect at United, but
What? Who's he gonna replace?
yeah.
Dallo, I guess.
There's still- yeah,
Right now,
Wan-Bissaka.
United's right.
Hey,
I don't mind
I'm
Dallo,
sorry,
and
man.
Wan-Bissaka dropped off a cliff for
Yeah.
sure. But I think right back's probably now the position you probably want to fill the most. It might be your weakest
Yeah,
position.
so
Yeah,
Walker
no,
Peters.
yeah.
There it is.
But
But anyways,
Liverpool, we're good.
They smashed them.
They won 9-0.
It's embarrassing for Bournemouth.
Sorry to cut you off, but me and Liam were talking about it. It's like it's a good time for Liverpool to play Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Like Liverpool were
Wow.
down bad.
They needed
for the
to bounce
first
back, yeah.
3 games, and
Look, all I want to say is Trent has some shame, brother.
Jesus.
That's some shame.
Anyway,
You just scored in the Premier League. What the fuck have you done? Anyways, shout out to Fabio Carvalho.
you know
for
what? He
scoring
plays
goal.
the same position
Yeah.
as
He
you.
does.
Maybe you should start watching him and figure out. Even
Maybe
if
I'll-
you,
maybe
even
I'll
if you're half as defensively minded as this man is, you'll be better.
Let's do a quick shout out to Southampton, where they did lose 1-0 to Manchester United. It was Bruno Fernandes
Yeah.
who does score that goal. Not much to talk about in that game. It was a Casemiro debut as well, so that did happen.
Yeah, that was a tough one to wake up for. I mean, I didn't wake up for it because it was a 5:30.
Yep.
so it wasn't a tough.
No,
one
and
to
if
wake
you're
up
if you're
with.
living if you're living like in Vancouver, it's a 4:30 a.m.
Yep.
wake up.
Yeah.
So I did watch the highlights of it. It seemed like Southampton. I think United got a little lucky at the end, but because Southampton was definitely trying to create some good
Yeah,
chances.
they actually were. Yeah.
Apparent-
Sometimes you gotta scrap those wins. Right?
Apparently, they got out chanted in their own stadium. Apparently, the United fans were so prevalent in that stadium that
But
there's a
Saint
video.
Mary's.
There's a video of the Southampton supporter as they're cheering back and forth. They're chanting back and forth, and he's just like, "Oh, you guys go, you guys live around here," and just like the comments are just like, "Yeah, whispering during a chant. You guys are irrelevant, buddy."
I was watching Stretford Paddock, and they said that Martinez is gonna win Player of the Year already.
Yep.
Dude,
Okay.
but literally 2 straight matches and Lisandro.
for United or
Yeah, for
in
United, for United.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I had to make sure of
Player
this,
of the
but
Year.
I'm just saying, like,
Well,
he's
I mean,
been
if
fantastic.
You really want to start the conversation, best center back in the Prem right now.
Well, I'm not gonna argue that. Who is? Who? Tell me who. Is it Virgil? Nope.
Someone on Manchester City, they're pretty good.
Shut up.
no, City has actually been conceding.
How-
They've been-
Actually, yeah.
Arsenal are undefeated top of the table.
No.
Or-
You know what? There's your
maybe
center back.
Tottenham, because Tottenham don't concede goals.
It's definitely not Gabrielle, because Gabrielle was.
I don't really
Well,
know.
Are you saying it's Eric Dyer then? Dear God, the
Yeah.
fact that Eric Dyer is still
But
just
look
the
at-
starting
But-
center back
but
at
look,
Spurs.
Look at
is-
Spurs. Look at this season, Spurs.
I know, but Liam, think of Tottenham. They're doing.
Oh,
they're
I
actually
know.
doing great. But their back 3 for the past 2 games is Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, and Ben Davies.
But it
What the
works.
fuck?
It works. And you
That's
know
all it
why it
matters, man.
works? It works because Antonio Conte has a system.
Yeah,
and
no,
if you
I-
listen to Conte, he'll win you a title. And it's Bentancur and Højbjerg in that midfield just running the show. And hey, you get tired, it's okay. We got fucking Basuma to come on.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Like
I guess that's why. But I think we just talked ourselves into all agreeing that Martinez is the best center back in the league. Anyways, we're moving on.
Well, I was going to move on quickly. I was going to run through a couple of the results that I'm not going to get much coverage here. Brentford Everton 1-1. It was Anthony Gordon that scored the goal for Everton. Shout out to that guy. What's wrong with him?
Just me and Matt got into an argument. Not an argument, but one of our things between Anthony and City, or Anthony and United, and he goes, is he really worth it? And I'm like, is Anthony Gordon worth 60?
Yeah,
like,
not
we're
at
still
all.
having this
I
conversation.
don't know how
No,
that number's
'cause-
being thrown around at all for
'Cause
Gordon.
it's literally what Matt said. If he wasn't English,
Yeah.
20 million.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
If that.
Brighton picked up a big 1-0 victory over Leeds. It was Pascal Gross who did score the goal. That's a big win for them.
I don't know. Brighton have been pretty good so far.
They've been very good. Brighton
aren't they second
are
in-
fourth.
Yeah, they've been
They're-
just
they're
fun
tied-
to
they're
watch.
tied
They
with
press
second.
well. They move the ball well. Like, there's not
Brighton
much.
have been great.
Well,
and
the
they
Brighton-
lost their best players. They have no more Neil Mopai. They got rid of Basuma. They got rid of Cucurella. And they're just doing the business.
Graham
Pascal
Po-
Royce
Gra-
is going to score.
Graham
goals.
Potter is just.
Like
Fuck,
amazing.
he's got damn Harry Potter.
you got Danny Welbeck.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a big game.
The
though.
team that I worry for a lot this summer. Leicester City.
Mm-hmm.
They lose yet again 2-1 in the hands of Chelsea, and Chelsea got a man sent off in the 28th minute. They
And
played
also,
the entire game also without
Leicester-
11 men.
Leicester right now sit bottom. They're the last place team in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they haven't won a game.
Yep.
West Ham even finally won.
So they're not losing, or they're not beating mid-table teams. They're not beating bottom of the table teams. They're not beating the teams around their pedigree.
It's between Brendan Rodgers and Steven Gerrard for first to be signed.
It's got to be Brendan Rodgers because he had
Does
to.
it?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
I think
I don't
Villa,
know. Villa have been so
they
shocking.
spent
They have
money.
been.
They spent money.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But like Leicester has had no appeal. Not even appeal. I shouldn't say appeal anymore. But they haven't had anything going since September of last year when the Conference League started. Other than that, they've just had, and even when the Conference League started, if I'm not mistaken, they lost their first match.
They didn't sign. The only player they signed was Alex Smithies from Cardiff, a free goalkeeper.
I'm so excited for this.
What? What?
Thursday, Leicester made Anthony Martial, baby. He's gonna be back. Hopefully he's not injured, but yeah. United-
That's where Leicester will win their game.
Don't even say that, man. Don't even say that. Don't even speak about that.
Why, for the love of why was there no investment into the Leicester squad? There has to be a backstory here. Was it?
Also, is Madison injured, or was he not playing because of transfer rumors?
I'm unaware.
Because that's like against a team like Chelsea, you're not playing.
Yeah.
Your best player probably right now is,
And
so
somebody-
it must be an injury.
Somebody commented because you put out the TikTok of us talking about Leicester, and somebody mentioned, oh, they'll sell these players and then they'll
Reinvest, yeah.
but they
They
are
haven't.
clearly showing
Isn't
that they
that a
aren't
little
willing
late?
to.
Like the transfer window closes in a couple days.
Right.
But I think what that comment was saying was they will sell Tielemans, they'll sell Madison, they'll sell these
Fofana.
players, Fofana, and then it's 2-3 seasons worth of purchasing development. Well, you know what? In 2 or 3 seasons, he said it. They might go down.
They could get relegated this season.
Like,
Yeah.
They don't pick.
Yeah.
I assume Brendan Rodgers is gonna get sacked, or they turn it around somehow.
But who do you hire to turn this club around right
There's
now?
always managers.
But you
shooting
look at
there.
this. You
Ralph.
look at that game against Chelsea. This is such an uninspiring starting 11.
Leicester did have
Vardy up
chances.
top was 35, past his best by far. Harvey Barnes, who never has grown up into the winger that we thought he would have grown up into. He's 24 now. You got Dewsbury Hall. I don't think he's good enough to be a starting Premier League player yet. You got Tielemans, who doesn't give a shit, doesn't want to be there anymore. You got Pryatt, Dennis Pryatt, who, again,
He's honestly not turned into anything.
he
special
hasn't
either.
turned into what we all thought he could. You got Boubacar Samari, who's 23, the new signing that they made. Has he just maybe not lived up to it? Maybe he's still finding his legs. He's, 4 games into his new career here? You got James Justin. All right.
He had a rough injury. That
You got Johnny
set him
Evans,
back a
who's
bit.
34, definitely past his best. You got Daniel Amarte as center back, who was never a center back. He was a CDM. You got Timothy Castagna, who, again, is not bad.
Yeah.
But, that's an uninspiring starting 11.
And Danny Wardenette.
Yeah,
Like-
that's a shit downgrade.
Yeah.
Like that says to me just what there's something, whether it's just financially their owners are not there right now. Maybe the COVID years have caught up to their Thai owners. I don't know, but it's a mess. Like the bench, Iosi Perez, Iheanacho, Ndidi, Soyuncu, Albrighton.
And that's the thing. So Yonchu's a center back,
He's not playing a center back. Yeah,
but you're playing a Marty.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And the thing is like, you had 11 guys. Chelsea had 10.
the entire game.
Literally the entire game. Basically, the 20 before the half-hour mark, you were up a man basically for 2/3 of the match.
I didn't watch the game, but I think they outchanced Chelsea. It's just Chelsea just got like 2 counterattacks. And
Leicester had 55% possession. Leicester had 11 corners to Chelsea's 3. Leicester had 17 shots, 5 on target. Chelsea had 7 shots, 3 on target. And again, that's where goalkeeping matters. 3 shots on target, 2 goals. Okay, I'm not saying Schmeichel saves them, but Danny Ward's not the guy you want behind you. I'm sorry.
I
That's
just
not
want
the
to
guy.
mention, what's happened to Wilfred Ndidi? That guy used to be a starter. Like, he was one of the best DMs in the Premier League. Not one of the best, but he was highly rated. People were saying United should have signed him.
Yeah.
He was valued at least like 40 to 60 million at one point.
Leicester got hit by injuries hard in the past couple
Why
seasons.
would they not
So you remember
invest in their
Soyuncu?
squad?
Soyuncu was one of the best center backs
He
in the
was,
Prem.
yeah.
And
The Euros. Ever since the Euros, all
Yeah.
of a sudden just goes.
But then why would they not have invested in a squad that way? When you get the inevitable injuries, because injuries will happen, you have a decent backup. You have if Danny Ward goes down injured next game, who the fuck's their next goalkeeper? Let me see. Who's that guy that they signed?
I want to say we need to get a Leicester supporter on here and ask him what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
They got Daniel Iverson on the bench. He's a 25-year-old Danish goalkeeper.
Good.
Who the fuck is that guy?
'cause even when we did your TikTok of Leicester getting relegated in 5 years, like there were a lot of comments on there and stuff was, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like it's really shocking, but yeah, I agree.
Even
Like,
a
it
Leicester
can't-
fan said, you know what? It's not looking good.
No.
Yeah.
Like
so-
it's a real state of emergency in Leicester.
But you talk about uninspiring. You'd probably rather if you're coming to the league as a player, you'd probably pick a Wolves, an Everton, a Nottingham Forest, for God's sake. Look how
Yeah.
exciting they are.
Lots-
We'll get to them because man, I was indubitably impressed.
Yeah, I think
today.
we're done with Leicester because
Do you want to cry? Arsenal
No.
beat Fulham 2-1.
Let's talk about this.
We were live for this game. Twitch.tv/ the 90th minute official. Greg, it wasn't the worst day out for the full force Fulham. You actually were winning.
yeah.
Then you weren't.
Yeah. All three goals were pretty scrappy and crappy goals, I must say. So
Crappy.
I thought we were going to get smacked, and we made it a close game, so it gives me confidence that we can do it. We just need more signings.
You actually were in the game. You fought well. It was Mitrovic opening the scoring. He caught Gabriel snoozing on the back line.
Gabriel went from 0 to hero.
He did, because he did actually ended winning the game. It was Odegaard, though, who scored the first goal for Arsenal.
Odegaard is...
He's been so good.
He took up the captain's role, and he's been fantastic.
3 goals
Do you feel like
so far this
it's gonna be a
season.
signing that Real Madrid's gonna regret letting go of Odegaard?
No.
Yes.
Arsenal are not Real Madrid.
That's not the point.
Yes,
that's
it
not
is.
That's not what he's asking.
Good for Arsenal is not good for Real Madrid.
But he could turn into something even
He
better
could,
at
he
Real
could.
Madrid. if he-
He's only 23. He's still
And
got a
he's-
long time to go. And in theory, if you were to do the math right, Odegaard would be coming into his prime as Luka Modric is exiting his prime. It would have been a perfect, here you go, take over the reins kind of thing. Just like they've done now with Casemiro and Tchouameni and Camavinga. Look at this guy go. Squaw. But no, you could be honest. I mean, it was a perfect replacement. I mean, I remember when he first came onto the scene, this was the next Real Madrid wonder kid. He was going to be the next superstar of the Bernabeu kind of thing. And fair play to him. He
Not even that,
he's
just world
found his
football in
feet.
general.
Well, yeah.
It was like he was like the Mbappe before Mbappe almost. It
then
felt
he
like.
was linked to Celtic
Really?
because he was family friends with our former manager Ronny Deila.
No.
Because they were Norwegian. They were like, oh, we get him on loan. And we didn't get him on loan.
Oopsies.
Nope. But no, I mean, he could still go on to have an incredible career. I mean, maybe he won't stay at Arsenal for very much
I
longer.
mean, if Arsenal go on to be the powerhouse that
They
right
could
now they
be.
could be, especially if you consider how young their team is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is the youngest average squad in,
Yeah,
in
they're
the
building-
they're
league,
building a
and
really
so the
special
fact that
thing
they're
there.
able to do that with that are just growing and getting better.
Is Xhaka not the oldest guy in that?
Mohamed El Neni is 30. Xhaka's 29. I'm going through these players. They're my
It's like kids.
God. Like,
They're all younger than us.
Saka's
They're like-
20. Fucking William Saliba's 21.
How old's Gabriel?
Martinelli is 21. The 24 for Gabriel, the center back.
Wow.
There's 3 Gabriels here. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
yeah. You went to the wrong one. But yeah, no. Then you've mentioned them: the Sakas, the Martinellis, the
The
Odegaards.
Smith Rowe.
Eddie
Smith
Nketiah,
Rowe.
Smith Rowe.
Getting
Smith
lost in
Rowe's
that.
a bench player right now.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get into that.
Zinchenko's there as well, and they fared well without Zinchenko in that match.
Kieran Tierney, I think, was the worst Arsenal player in that 11. I gotta be honest, but that was his first game he's played in 5.5 months.
Yeah.
So you can understand you're going to be a bit rusty. But to keep going about the age, Fabio Vieira, the guy they signed from Porto, he's 22. You got Lukongu they signed last year, he's 22. Tomiyasu, he's 23. It's a young squad.
I mean, Arteta's one of the youngest managers in the league. He's just going with the flow.
And the thing that he's
I love All or Nothing. I love that show so
and
much.
that's what I was going to mention.
Vamos.
It's exactly what he mentions in the show. It's exactly what he mentions in some of the press conferences before the season is that I want to change the culture.
Yep.
I want to the culture has to be different, and that's what he's done. And not only has he done it, but at the same time is that these kids are so young that as they move on with not only their careers in general, but with their careers at Arsenal as well, it's also going to change the mindset of themselves as humans and players in the future as well. So it's really going to be an interesting turn kind of in Arsenal's.
I mean, you look at the team that he took over, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, they were running the show in terms of importance and in terms of respect. He got rid of Aubameyang. Yeah. And if you watch it All or Nothing, the debate behind the scenes was, how can he get rid of the only guy that can score his goals?
Yeah.
Because he said, well, we'll suffer for right now. We're going to trust Eddie Nketiah. We're going to give him a chance. We're going to give Smith Rowe a chance. We're going to give Martinelli a chance. And you know what? Maybe today we suffer, but tomorrow we won't. And here we are tomorrow. Yes, they signed Gabriel Jesus, which is a great signing. He's a young player still, but they're not struggling anymore because he gave youth the chance.
And the thing is, he gave a chance to players who actually want to play for the club.
100%.
Not Aubameyang, who's flying off to Barcelona, and they're like, what the fuck's he doing in Barcelona?
Yeah, he didn't know he went there,
They give chances to people who show respect to the club.
Who came through the youth academy, who get it, who understand, who cheer
They'll play for
Arsenal.
the badge.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, and I hate to turn it into United.
You're not wrong, though.
I'm not. But look at Lisandro Martinez. Look at Tyrell Malacia. Look at the guys that they brought in.
Even Alonga to an extent.
Yes, 100%. 100% Alonga. I think you get like my image of Lisandro Martinez smack in the ground at Old Trafford after winning the third match of the game or the season against, yes, it is Liverpool, and it's a match that y'all needed to win, but just
Liverpool. You mean Southampton? No, it was Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah, no. This was last week.
4 matches in our
but being able to recognize from the 5th total game in your career as a Manchester United player to be able to sit there and realize how important that is for the club is exactly what you're seeing at Arsenal.
And I just want to mention, like, we know he's going to come to the Premier League eventually. Will Arsenal make that statement signing of Jude Bellingham?
I thought he was going to say Antony.
No. Like, he's going to come eventually. Like,
I know Jude Bellingham has forever been linked to Liverpool.
But if Liverpool continues to, let's say they don't live up to expectations.
Let's be honest. Liverpool's not going to drop that.
Jude Bellingham would fit that Liverpool midfield.
Again, they say
like
Milner's getting older.
Yeah,
Henderson's
you're not wrong.
getting older. You're telling me a midfield of Harvey Elliott, Jude Bellingham, and Fabinho would be just delicious?
It would be fantastic.
Now,
I hate to say that.
I want to talk about, we talked about Arteta. I want to talk about his dad now.
Okay.
Pep.
Okay.
I was really lost there.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola is his father.
Do we have to talk about Pep, or do we have to just talk about one man?
Haaland, that's the
He has scored 3 goals.
Yeah, I got embarrassed.
Did you?
I was smack. I was smack talking them on Twitter. I was like, you losing fucking Crystal 2-0. I'm like, a loss for Man City is a win for football. Let's go. I go to take a shower. I come up from the bathroom. I'm like, what the fuck? It's 3-2.
Yeah, you can't.
Now, a guy commented on my TikTok. He's like, what are you taking a shower for an hour? I'm like, no. But
it wasn't an hour.
It happened very quickly.
I mean, let's see. So the second goal was scored in the 21st minute, and the third goal by Haaland scored in the 70th minute. I mean, it's a long
It
shower.
was great goals,
It was
by
a
the way.
15-minute halftime.
Yeah.
It's a long shower.
Yeah.
It might
But
have been
that's
just,
okay.
it might have been just like when.
Maybe
you know,
he
like,
was-
What were you
yeah.
doing in the
He's having
shower?
a snack.
Yeah.
Having a shower granola bar.
Little me time.
Shower
Little me
cigar.
time.
We talked about City before, though, when they just didn't have a striker.
And
Just
now
score
they
them the
got
goals, and they have it now. Just someone that gets in the box. A lot of the times, City would cross the ball in
Yeah.
past seasons, and there's just no one there.
Yeah.
This time, Holland is there.
I gotta say, I had the exact same reaction. I was half asleep because I slept in that day, and I saw it was 2-0 Palace. And I literally said to myself, keeps the Premier League interesting. Liverpool could lose a game, City lose a game, United lose a game. Still interesting. I woke up, I got myself changed. I went, what the fuck is 2-2? And I said, I'm not surprised. We all knew it was gonna happen. It was
Yeah.
just sad that it did
I
happen.
kept that game. I was doing dishes that morning because everybody was coming over, and I had it on up on the TV or up on my phone because I knew it when it was still 2-0. I'm like, this isn't over yet. Sorry, I cut you off, Greg.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it's exciting that Liverpool are struggling. Maybe not
It
to
is.
Liverpool fans. City aren't struggling, but they're not winning every game.
I love that was from
Super
Liverpool.
comfortably.
Yeah, we're struggling. Let's go beat the piss out of Bournemouth.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
sorry, man.
Stop, he's dead.
Scott Parker can
Well,
go
how's just talk? I mean,
screw himself
Haaland's
anyways.
all his goals were pretty good. I mean, which was the third goal that was like a very intricate passing play that went off like based off like 4 people, and they just passed the Haaland's foot in.
I saw a comment saying it was the substitution that brought in Julian Alvarez in the 61st
yes.
minute that changed the game for City. Again, we have to remember that was a great pickup.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He was under
Also,
20 million.
Shout out to Phil Foden. He had a fantastic cross into the box.
No,
Whoa,
no,
showing love to Philly Foe.
I don't like his haircut, but his assist was very nice.
No,
man. It was-
no. Rule number 1 of the 90th minute: you show no love to Phil Foden.
Why do you hate Phil Foden?
Because I don't like him.
Please pronounce his name
Why? I
correctly.
hate
It's
his
Philly
cut.
Foe.
Yeah.
It's
Bernard-
Philly
I mean,
Foe.
Bernardo Silva's still insane, but like, you know who else like came on? Gundogan, and he helped
Yeah.
make a difference.
Right.
Like, it's
This is gonna sound very stupid. You've heard many stupid things from my mouth.
Okay,
But
I'm
Bernardo
ready.
Silva
Okay.
sometimes reminds me of Messi with the way he dribbles the ball.
Yeah, last week you said Ilkay Gundogan's better than Iniesta. Now you're saying Bernardo Silva is Messi-esque.
In the sense that his dribbling is very stylistic to Messi.
I yelled
just-
Ungara Messi today at a child.
Why?
I was in the Adidas store and this kid was in a full Messi PSG
you can't
jersey.
just yell at kids.
No, listen. He's wearing the Messi short and jersey, both number 30. So I walked past and went, I'm gonna Messi. And my girlfriend's like, what are you saying? I was like, I'm gonna Messi. The kid knew what I was talking about. We're having a great time. It's a good time.
I can't Messi.
I'm gonna Messi.
Just imagine this kid going.
He was trying on shoes at the Adidas store. I was like, hey, he's wearing the jersey, he's wearing the shorts. The kid knows what he's wearing. You know what I mean?
Jabs up this kid. Hey, I'm gonna mess.
I'm gonna Messi.
Anyways,
Let's move on.
Bernardo Silva kind of moves
No.
dribbles
Just
in
let's
there.
move
Why?
on.
Why is that wrong? Am I wrong?
You don't compare people to Messi right now. It's
Fuck
just
that.
Am I wrong? She came down in a bobble, dog. Anyways,
What?
you don't remember that viral
No,
video?
I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk quickly about Wolves Newcastle drew 1-1. Gucci headband saved the day.
That game was
banger.
That game was boring up until that moment.
Because
Yeah.
it's Gucci fucking headband. But they did
But he was
make
not.
a signing.
He was not great.
No.
No, I
But
mean,
now they-
but that strike was sublime.
It was really nice.
They have a new center forward at Newcastle.
That's an amazing. Like no one talking about this. Like
It's a little pricey.
It's a lot of money.
yeah, I think he's that's how
For
much he's worth.
Alexander Isaac,
Yeah.
70
He's
70 or
quite
60
good.
million.
Isaac.
Yeah,
The 60 or 70?
70.
70?
such a
70.
good signing.
He didn't have a great season last year.
He was great at the Euros,
Yes.
and then didn't have the best season at Sociedad. But
Mhm.
let's see what he
But
does in the Prem.
He should be good. I mean, you got Gucci headband feet. And
But
you're
in
gonna
my
be a great-
opinion, those are the types of signings that Newcastle should be making right
Yes.
Just quickly, because Waz did say it in our chat. Can St. Maximin get on that French squad.
I think so.
That'd be sick.
And he keeps posting. I saw a post of his on Instagram saying everything leads to.
He's got to be.
Qatar.
He's got to be in the conversation.
Like the wingers,
Like-
I guess it depends where you're playing Mbappe, but like because
Mbappe.
Mane is healthy right now,
Yep.
and I don't want to, but he's on that team.
And as Matt says, he's in demon mode right now.
And you're gonna play Mbappe as a winger because Benzema is in the best form of his career.
But also at the same
But
time,
I think right now they're playing.
Yeah,
They were
4-4-2
playing like
almost.
Say
a
Maximin
double striker.
is like
so.
on the bench for that French team. If Saint Al Maximin goes to World Cup, Qatar is 10 times better.
Sorry, can you say his name one more time?
I struggle with that name.
Yeah, Saint Alan Maximin. I like it more though. Saint Alan Maximin.
Did I actually say
Saint Al Maximin.
Oh my God.
I like
Alan
it though.
Saint Maximin.
No, I like Saint Alan Maximin more.
He said it, and I was looking at him like, that sounds wrong. I couldn't put it together. The right pieces are there.
Yeah, again, you were right there with it.
Send the Saint to Qatar.
That's it.
Send the hashtag.
Hashtag it. Vinny, hashtag it.
But
Let's keep
Tottenham.
moving on.
Tottenham beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. Unfortunate for Nottingham Forest. They played actually a really good game. They were in that game. Harry Kane should have had a hat trick, but he missed a penalty because of
Dino.
He's got his hat.
He has his ball cap on.
Yeah.
Dean Henderson does save Harry Kane's penalty, but Harry Kane does score two to make it 2-0 victory.
Yeah, because the first goal, Dino just stood there. He
The
just
first
It was a
goal
good
bumbled over the
I
line.
could love his hat.
Dean Henderson.
Look at that ball go. Oh, I wonder what I should do about it. And that's what I just. So of course it was his. He scored his 200th Premier League goal and his 201st. Is he gonna pass Alan Shearer?
How many is away is he?
Like 70 or something.
Oh, I thought he was 241.
He should, because I mean, how old is Harry Kane? Harry Kane is 29. You'd say
Think of the clip.
he's still got 4 or 5 years left in him.
Think the clip that he would have to score at still. He has like 15 4 years.
You'd think he'd be able to do that, especially in this Tottenham team.
But
But he's going to
let's think of
start
it,
every game unless he's not healthy.
He's already at 4 goals in 4 games. And like people say, and we've said in the past too, Harry Kane's actually scoring in August. Usually he does
he
not
does.
score in August.
You know who's not
Yeah.
scoring? Hunmin Son.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was very mad today
when
because he got
picked
taken off
yeah.
for the pigeon Richarlison, who I fucking wanted to slap. Fuck that guy.
Oh, when he went down the
He's
first
holding
time,
his testicles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he was not touched.
Buddy, get off this
But
field, you fucking
It's
pigeon.
a great cross.
Yeah, it was.
Was that after he started juggling the ball?
No, that he juggled the ball later, and it
Yeah.
was great because the Forest player just took him out.
And-
I said, I saw him juggle, and I said out loud, I said, just hit him, just hit him, like just hit him. Like,
Yeah. Are we? Nottingham played good,
They did.
like, and they were unlucky.
but
Is it going to be a problem? Are they going to have the issue of there's too many signings?
they're making good signings.
There's a lot, but like it's a lot of good signings. Like someone even just like Manuel Dennis comes off the bench.
yeah,
and it's
Czech
like,
Kouyaté.
And had a very good
did.
match.
Czech Kouyaté was free from Crystal Palace. You got Morgan Gibbs-White. Emmanuel Dennis was 14.8 million.
You know who's on Nottingham who I just realized? Lyle Taylor.
Lyle Taylor is there.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I didn't realize
Lyle
that.
Taylor's
I
there.
thought he was with like a League One club.
no.
Nico Williams, Jesse Lingard, of course.
Christ, yeah. Since we're on talking about Nottingham, God, I made that post on Instagram because they've now made 18 goddamn signings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brennan Lodi, they signed, he's a fantastic left back.
Wait, Lodi?
I don't think he signed.
Yeah.
Was it official?
It's not official, but
very
Atletico
close.
I didn't know
Atletico is
that.
in the process of signing Regulon.
They are actually just playing FIFA
Yeah.
career.
Yeah, they
mode.
were
Well,
signing,
here-
they're
yeah.
signing Lodi from Atletico, and Atletico's going to get Regulon from Spurs.
And so that is why it's like not. He was at the match today, but that's the reason why it's basically official because now Atletico's in the process of bringing in Regulon. They only said they would do that if they sold.
I see.
or
Now, if you're
Lodi.
wondering how can Forest afford all these players, well, this thing I found. Forest currently have a net spend of around £137 million, including all potential add-ons. Promotion to the Premier League is estimated to be worth around £170 million, which could rise to £300 million if relegation is avoided this season.
Wow.
You know how we talk about this. The Premier League makes so much more money than all the other leagues. It just does.
Yeah.
Like you said, gangsters promoted to the Premier League.
So here's
you get a shit ton of money. It just depends if your owners wanna spend
Invest
it.
You make a great point there, Greg. So it does make me wonder, and Lucas brought up this point, will the Premier League become a super league to the point where Serie A and Bundesliga are kind of more obsolete, where all these talented players all just want to go to the Premier League? Will the Premier League turn into like an NFL or an NBA?
I think it almost is getting to that point.
Yeah.
Unless if you are at the biggest clubs in those different leagues,
Because in Germany,
you're not going to really. There's no chance of a superstar player signing for Borussia Dortmund. You only go to Bayern Munich, and even then, they leave Bayern Munich to come to the Prem.
Serie A is an interesting spot because players just seem to like to play in Italy.
Well, it's also like Serie A is a very what's the proper word to use for it? It's kind of not a vintage type,
It's a
historic type league. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's just you respect the history of the clubs. That's why I think genuinely, I think after Premier League, Serie A is right next to it, because I think with the history of the clubs, we had this discussion last time where I think a lot of the top clubs in Italy are bigger. I don't know if that's even the right word to say.
I think out of all the top 4 leagues, Serie A is second in terms of competitiveness.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I think that's a better way to look at it, because La Liga is typically a Real Madrid, Barcelona, and the off year somehow Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
Bundesliga is Bayern Liga.
Yep.
Yeah. And then
even though they did
Ligue
draw.
1 is literally Ligue 1 is
PSG's training grounds.
Now it is.
Mbappe's league.
And of course, I made that silly TikTok on my own TikTok, like how the Prem's a farmers league, and people just ram. I deserve the hate. I got hemmed into, but like I'm like, oh, League On isn't that bad. You know, PSG doesn't steamroll every team. I go look at the latest score lines. It's like 5-0, 7-1, 6-1.
Well,
I'm like, wow.
I think they only drew today against Monaco, so
yeah. So
and like I was just saying, Bayern drew. So
yeah,
but the Bayern draw was a record-setting night.
Yes.
For
shots on goal and
for
saves.
Jan Sommer. I mean, 19 saves.
I mean, Sommer's a great keeper.
United was trying to get him.
Yeah. But back to the Premier League.
Well, that was all the
basically
Premier League matches that have happened.
We talked a lot.
Well, but no, did we talk Villa at West Ham?
Oh yeah, I guess we didn't talk about that.
Just quickly mention how
West Ham finally won and Villa is shit.
No, West Ham finally scored their first goal of the Premier League season, and they won. And it was the weirdest deflection from Fornals.
Hey, they all count.
And then, Villa lost again, and they looked complete shit.
It was interesting that he started Scamacca up top rather than Antonio. Emerson got a debut game, the Chelsea fullback, former Chelsea fullback.
I honestly forgot he was still at Chelsea.
He's there.
And Scamacca started because he was actually scoring while no one else, like Waz was saying, no one was scoring in the Premier League, so they might as well.
My problem with Villa is that you watch them and you're kind of questioning, what are they trying to do? Like, what is their identity?
Their play style kind of thing.
It's very hard to find out. And does that come down to Steven Gerrard?
Is it tactics wise, or is it just the
look at this team?
It's a good team.
Let's look at the players going forward. You got McGinn, you got Douglas Luiz, you have Boubacar Kamara, you got Coutinho, Ings, Watkins.
Yeah,
those are decent enough players.
Bailey,
Buendia. You had Buendia, you had Jacob Ramsey, Leon Bailey. Oh, those guys coming on. I mean,
they lose possession very cheaply. It's like they play into the opposition's hands.
Danny Ings is not the same player he was at Southampton.
I do think
that's when Southampton were top of the league. Is when Danny Ings was.
I do think Callum Chambers is a bit of a weak center back, but that's just
Well, at the same time, your center back isn't the reason you're losing. It's your midfield.
Yeah, if you don't have any game in your midfield, you're just playing the entire match in your own box.
Maybe starting Boubacar Kamara, the young guy they just signed, he's 22 years old. Maybe he's not ready for this step. Maybe he's showing he's just not at the level yet. But you have Marvelous Nakamba on the bench. I know he started a lot of games for them last year. They need to get rid of Ashley Young because that man is older than actual villain itself.
Older than most MLS clubs.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
That was the quote of the day. Ashley Young is older than most MLS clubs.
Let's move quickly to the Bundesliga. I think, are we good with the Premier League?
Yeah, we talked.
I don't
Steven
really,
Gerrard, get fired and fuck off.
I didn't really keep an eye on
Thanks.
Bundesliga. I just heard.
Well,
Bayern
let's
go.
talk very quickly. So Dortmund did win 1-0. Leipzig won 2-0 over Wolfsburg. Schalke got fucked up 6-1 by Union Berlin.
Ooh.
Fuck yeah, Schalke,
Oh, they're
get
still
back
in
down to where you belong.
What the?
I don't think that's where they belong.
In the second division? Oh yeah, they just.
Oh, no.
That's where Schalke will forever belong because that's what they did to their own club.
No, fair enough. I'm not going to argue that.
My phone is frozen. Otherwise, I would tell you more scores.
Well, no, it's kind of interesting that Union Berlin scoreline, I
It's
think.
completely frozen.
That sucks, Liam.
That's why you don't get a Samsung, you nitwit. Anyways, kind of going back to that, I'm surprised by that Union Berlin score because there's just, I don't know. I don't know. I think people who watch more Bundesliga than I would probably disagree with me, but I'm not a big Union Berlin guy.
They're not
I
a
don't
good
know.
team. That's why it's funny that they won 6-1.
Okay, sorry, I can't.
He calls them Onion Berlin.
Oh, that's
Union.
Onion,
not too
Onion Berlin.
That's not too far
Yeah,
off.
there was the Bayern Munich result. I know we talk, well, not we, but the Kicked Back podcast here on the 90th Minute talks about Sadio Mane being such an influential player to Bayern Munich this season. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
He's going to be big.
Well,
we know how good he is. But it's his club now.
and him and Fonzie are like growing a fantastic
It's scary.
bromance.
That's a scary
And-
pair.
yeah, that's the thing. If they're on the same side, fucking rip.
Okay, but then yeah, he comes off or Serge Gnabry.
Yeah.
There's
Oops.
Leroy Sané.
Oops. Meanwhile, the right side or the left, right side, I guess, is going.
Yeah, it's just dead.
Bayern's still insane. It's just they don't have their main number 9.
Yeah, Lewandowski.
That is the thing. Lewandowski is going to be missed. Yes, they have Mane, they have Muller,
They will
Sané,
learn
they
how
have
much
Coleman,
they
they
miss
have
him soon.
So many players.
Well, it's great that Barca and Bayern are playing each other.
I'll say it. We will have a full Champions League
there's
podcast coming out later midweek before the tournament starts.
Yeah, there's a reason we're not.
Yeah, exactly. There's a
talking
reason we're
about
not.
it.
Exactly. There's a reason we're not talking about this because it is going to be coming up for you guys in just a few more days. So be ready for that. That's everything that happened in the Bundesliga. People won, people lost. Fuck you.
Let's go to Serie A because actually there was a lot of big results.
Yes.
That's the Europa League
Well, Italy.
and conference.
Jeez.
Lazio shockingly defeated Inter Milan
Yeah,
3-1.
Inter were fucking just poor. What can
You
you
want to
say?
know why? Because Lazio have an incredible manager.
They have heart.
Well, they have a good manager. Not Joe Hart. Maurizio Sarri.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, I love that.
Oh
guy.
yeah,
I love Sarri. That man got
Yeah,
shafted
yeah.
at Chelsea.
I expect a little bit more from Inter, obviously. But I feel like with Inter, it's like up front they're very strong with Martinez and Lukaku, and after that their midfield's kind of. It just feels like they're missing something at times.
Midfield was Brozovic, Barella,
Barella was
and
fantastic.
Roberto Gagliardini.
And there you go. I appreciate that effort. Also, Barella got sold.
Liam, you're Italian.
You got sold, Barella?
Yeah, he's on his way to Roma.
Oh,
Is
wow.
he?
Yeah.
Roma
Wow.
building a powerhouse with Jose.
Well, we had to sign another midfielder after Genie snapped his leg.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fucking love Genie.
Exactly.
I keep forgetting that Paulo Dybala went to Roma.
Which is funny that we can talk about that because that was one of the matches that we kind of streamed. We were watching it during the Fulham and Arsenal match.
Before we move to that, fantastic goal
Yes.
in the Inter match
Yes.
from.
Luis Alberto.
It was beautiful.
That
It
was
was
a
looked
great
like an
goal.
outside the boot. He was fantastic. I love Luis.
Remember how he said Felipe Anderson's one of the best Brazilians of all time?
Oh my god.
He just said that because he scored a goal, right? That's the only reason you
that
brought it
what-
up. Yeah.
I watched him. He's a good player.
But yeah, we were also like half simultaneously streaming the Roma and Juventus match, and 9 minutes in, or was it 9 or 2 minutes in?
It was
It was
very.
two.
It was
It
two.
was 2. There we go. 2 minutes in, Dusan Vlahovic with, I mean, we were going nuts to the wall, crazy over Trippier's goal last week. that Dusan Vlahovic free kick.
It was good.
Oh my!
It was great.
Something happened in my pants that I hadn't happened in a very long time.
Relax, dude.
And I'm not sure if it happened in the front and the back at the same time. It was nuts.
That's me when Martial scores.
No, it was. If Martial scores this Premier League season, you guys just pass away right in front of us.
Aren't you still? Isn't it you? You're supposed to get an R9 haircut if Martial still scores
15
league goals.
Premier League goals or more.
Yeah.
I get an
If he
R9
can't
haircut.
play,
Come on,
then
Martial!
But yeah, like, and that was a really good. I enjoyed.
It was a decent match, actually. Tammy Abraham scored for Roma to tie it up. 69 minutes gone. Shout out to Tammy Abraham. People, I think, forget about him, but he's had a pretty decent Serie A career so far.
And I like watching that Roma club because it's. I remember we were streaming one day, and Roma had played earlier in the day, and I had it on, and it was kind of slow. But that's kind of that Jose Ball as well. He likes to play to his pace and play to his type of football, and you can tell that Roma A has bought into it. Obviously, when you're winning trophies, yes, it may be the Conference League, but the Conference League is still a tournament and European trophy. You're going to listen to him. And they have the club to do so, and they're only adding to it with Barella. Like, it's going to be interesting.
They also signed Belotti.
Belotti was who I meant. Not.
I was going to say, are you sure Barella
No,
is
Belotti.
Belotti?
It was Belotti. Yeah. Excuse me. I think it was Belotti.
Yeah. I know they signed Belotti. He's a free transfer today.
Yes, that's
so
who I was
that's who it is.
talking
Okay,
about.
so
definitely not Barella.
Leaving.
I was gonna say there's no way Barella's just leaving right now.
I thought it was, but no, Belotti.
AC Milan did win 2-0 over Bologna. Shout out to them. Atalanta 1-0 over Hellas Verona. Napoli Fiorentina was a 0-0 snooze fest
Which
draw.
that AC Milan match was a little bit of a feisty one as well.
There was a little bit, but Olivier Giroud scored a good goal. So
yes,
life is made.
Yes. There was also, it was kind of not necessarily a boring Sunday, I guess, in the Serie A, but Fiorentina Napoli 0-0, which I was trying to get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine. And then the last match of the day was, for whatever reason, two recently promoted clubs in Empoli and Lecce.
Good.
And you're just like,
can we go talk about Waz's favorite club now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Barca.
It looked like he was like confused. It was like we already talked about United.
4-0 Barcelona over Valladolid. And of course, the man that gets the headlines with a brace today, Roberto Lewandowski.
I
not
watched
Roberto.
a little bit of the first half before I
Spain
went to
now.
the gym. Great goal by Lewandowski.
Weird flex before I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Before I squatted 18 million pounds.
When you play for the biggest clubs in the world, you gotta. Bro, I work out with The Rock.
Okay, continue.
Anyways, no, that was
Lewandowski.
no Lewandowski's first goal. He read it perfectly. He just understood, like, I think it was Rafinha. No, I can't remember who crossed it in, but it was just a perfect cross right to Lewandowski. Who did they play against? Sociedad?
Valladolid?
Sociedad was the week before.
But Valladolid, they just did not see him running into the box at all. No one picked him up, and
It's Valladolid.
Valladolid.
It's Valladolid. They're not great.
Well, I mean,
What I find funny is like Waz didn't know who crossed it in, didn't know who they were playing. It was literally just Waz had his eye on his Lewandowski the entire
Were
time.
you watching the game or did you see it on Twitter?
I was
You
actually
watched.
watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough then. He's
But-
allowed to have a comment today.
I like the way Barcelona's been playing though recently. It's been very good.
how about that backheel goal from Lewandowski? I won't lie, when I first saw that goal go in and like trickle down past
I'm
the...
gonna say, who's Benzema? I don't know.
Jeez,
That's
you're
number
so-
9 in the world.
Well, honestly, I'm going to be honest. Barca signing Lewandowski and signings they have made will reignite a little bit of the actual passion and intensity, I think, behind El Clasico. Because since Messi and Ronaldo left, El Clasico's lost that spark. It has.
Because
A little bit,
either
yeah.
one team wasn't at the highest that
Yep.
you know.
Vinicius Jr. versus Ousmane Dembele is pretty.
Vinicius versus Ousmane. Benzema versus Lewandowski. There's great matchups all around. You got Tchouameni now versus Frankie de Jong. There's a lot of good matchups all around that
Pedri.
pitch.
Ansu Fati, baby.
Pedri, yeah, Pedri's also in there. Fati, there's a lot of great young talent now.
Barca for Champions League.
I agree.
We'll talk Champions League on Champions League because genuinely there's gonna be some differing of opinions. I know there will be, and that's okay.
Shut up, Celtic.
Buddy, we had 2 players score a hat trick today.
Yeah, I wonder why. Who are you playing? Motherwell?
Boss, we talk about
Dundee
Farmers
United.
League?
Oh
Farmers
my
League,
God.
right there.
100%.
We have 2 clubs in the Champions League though. Great time.
And it's the only 2 clubs who anybody gives a shit about.
Literally.
Kyogo,
Wow.
actually, we scored 9 goals. I want to say 7 of them were the exact same goal.
I'm shocked.
Just across the box, back post. I was okay, tap that. Kyogo scored 1 good goal though. It was Trent.
I can't really talk shit about Scottish clubs because Polish teams do fuck all in Europe. They just appear.
We played Legia in preseason. What a shit show that was.
Probably.
It was a testimonial for Artur Boric because he played for both clubs. So it was the Artur Boric testimonial. No one in Poland bought tickets for the game.
Well, you talked about this.
Yeah, I did.
before.
Yeah.
I'm telling him. So Artur Boric had to go and say, "Hey, please come to the game. Even if you don't like me, you can boo me, but please come to the game. Otherwise, we're gonna cancel it." I was like, what is happening here, Poland? Get your shit together.
You should have done it in Glasgow.
Well, he had just played
But-
for Legia, so that's what we did there. Anyways, Real Madrid won 3-1 over Espanyol. Benzema does score 2, and the other one from Vinicius Jr. So, top of the table is Real Madrid, 9 points. Betis on 9, Barcelona on 7.
Did you see that thing Batiste did?
Yes.
Oh,
The sickest intro I've ever seen to a game.
they had the
Yes, he did.
violin
I didn't see
It was a
going.
man with the violin, but he was doing like a cover of
Stereo Heart?
yeah.
Yeah, some of
And
that.
it was all black, and they had like all like the flashlights going.
This is just the intro.
It was
No,
sick.
I'll play it on the mic
there was
here.
a full like beat
Gar-
drop and everything.
Careful, because it is a copyrighted song.
Yeah, but I don't know how it's gonna work because it's also like
Yeah, you still can't do
A
do that.
cover.
Don't do that.
It's technically a cover.
We'll show Greg off stream, off
Yeah.
camera.
Show it to me after.
But
It's okay.
it's the song that goes. It
was sick.
yeah, that's great.
It was so good because he was playing his violin. There was a beat drop. The entire crowd was bouncing
Hey,
around.
well, Betis is doing good.
Oh,
So
it was a good time.
I actually every time I see a lot of Real Betis, I see a lot more of cool stuff from. Shall we move to North American football quickly
Sure.
before we get into our Sunday League stories?
I think we need to talk about the big transfer.
Oh yeah, I guess so. I guess
Antony?
we should.
Antony.
Yeah, we probably should.
I was
Before.
wondering when can we actually talk about it because that's actually 100 million. I don't think he's worth it, but man, he's gonna be an exciting player.
What is he worth to you? To a Manchester United 2 fans, how much is Anthony
If I'm being
realistically
honest,
worth?
right now, I think he would be worth around 60 million.
I would go 70, 75.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
I'm leaning more towards the 40 to 50.
And
Ooh, I
clearly
don't
you've
know.
never watched
I don't
Antony.
think you've watched enough Anthony, man. This
Yeah.
guy is something special.
We'll see what happens.
He's,
It's not the first time you've signed a young special player.
Yeah, the same. Like, how many times do
But
we have to go through this?
the
Like,
way I view it,
Jack Grealish is still in the league in case anybody
But the
needs
way I view
any
it,
sort of reminding. But
United haven't had a player like Anthony probably since I would say Nani, in terms of his
even
trickery and skillful ability.
isn't that like what Sancho's?
Yeah.
Not really. I don't think so.
Sancho is more of like he's a finesse player, yes, but he's not a ball handler. He's more of a ball mover in the way that he does so. He finds little seams in between legs, and not only like Megs, but he finds the little seams between for passing lanes, and he gets it
He's the
through.
type of player like a Alan Maximin,
There we go.
like a Rafinha almost. I think kind of like a Neymar, but Neymar's in his own fucking planet, right?
That's where I would. Somebody put on, and I'm not saying that this is the direct comparison, but somebody put the Premier League Neymar.
Yeah,
I
but
was like, okay, sure.
I haven't watched a ton of him, but I've done a little bit of reading on him. It's supposed he's got a very explosive pace.
It's a good signing by United. It's just overpaid like
Yeah,
hell
it's
because
extreme.
Ajax said you already took one of my players.
So are we, and this is the thing that we consistently get caught up on. Is this really what we're going to get caught up on? We got caught up on it with Casemiro, yet he's the best CDM in the world. We talk about how they spent so much for Jadon Sancho last year. We talk about how, oh my goodness, you guys paid $15 million for Tyrell Malacia. Wow! Oh my God, you paid $60 million for Lisandro Martinez. Wow! It's almost like if you have the disposable income to do so, you're gonna fucking do it. Wow! It's like I don't understand why we are consistently in this. Oh yeah, you overpaid them. No shit, because that's the entire point.
You always have to overpay.
That's the point of the market.
I'm just saying to where Ajax just not that like. Of course, United did overpay, but Ajax really just sleazed you guys by just go. There was like because what did it start at? It was like 70, and they're like,
yeah,
no, just a little bit more, and then it just kept going and just kept
I do
going.
find it funny that people say that United no longer have any pull power, yet all these players still want to go to Man United.
You have pull power of money though,
but like
you're always
not
going to
how that
have.
But it's also
You're always going to have
Anthony
that.
really wanted this move though.
Yeah,
going to Old Trafford. Manchester United is
100%.
still Manchester United.
You know what?
100%.
Actually, you know what I'm actually more interested to see is the relationship between Ten Hag and Anthony in the Premier League. Because apparently they're very, very close. It's almost like a Ronaldo Ferguson type relationship.
I hope Anthony works out at Manchester United.
Yeah,
Because there's been way too many players that have come to United with such high expectations and flopped. May I remind you of a Januzaj once upon a time that was going to be the next world breaker and wasn't.
To be fair, he came through the youth academy.
Januzaj.
Yes.
Yes.
but
But let me just say, but I hope he works out. Because 100 million is a lot of pressure on young shoulders. Yes, he's got his coach there. Yes, he's got this. Yes, he's got that. It's a lot of pressure for a young player.
But that you hit the nail on the head with it too, is that it is his old manager. It's the manager who brought him out and made him into Antony, who he is now, who the people on the market are sitting there and going, should we spend that money? It is the manager who made him that player. And that the relationships of not only on the pitch but off the pitch are just as important than anything that there is. Because if you're sitting there and you see, look at Paul Pogba. If you want to talk about players with a big price tag that didn't do anything, look at Paul Pogba. Because he only went in there for himself. Both times that he came back from Juventus, well, he came back from Juventus once, but both times from when he signed and then came back from Juventus, you sat there and you just went, this guy doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
He doesn't care. And you could see it in his performances. At the same time, you take a look at maybe even look at Bruno Fernandes when he first came into the league, how much he gave a shit of being there for United. Well, there were times where he sat there and he's like, this kid is the best player in the Prem right now because he was playing for the badge, because he was playing for the people who brought him in, who believed in him. And now, right now, he has the armband because Harry Maguire's going, oh, wow, look at this little 5'6" kid doing his stuff.
Oh, well, that's the best thing Ten Hag's done is freaking drop Maguire.
And look, you got a manager now who's willing to do that.
And you drop Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And the team is doing. And I agree with Liam. I hope he does well because as funny as it is when United is shit, it's the Premier League is better when United is competing with like Liverpool and City.
Not just that.
And let's hope, and they play great football when.
Like I would feel so bad for yet another talent to go to United with the high expectations and price tag, and just flop. You're Anthony Martial. As much as you love him, he is a flop. He had a Ballon d'Or clause. You thought when you signed from Monaco that he was on par with Kylian Mbappe. Because I'll tell you, Mbappe was available as well.
Yeah.
And you went, we have Mbappe or Martial. That's the stream you want to go to. He flopped. He did.
Now, it's not just United though that you're talking about. In general, 100 million for a young player going anywhere is
Darwin
crazy.
Núñez overpaid.
Yes.
But Darwin Núñez, I think you saw it in the Champions League and that little bit of, oh, this guy can do it on the big night kind of thing. But
same with
It was-
Where the fuck was Ajax then? Were they playing on Thursday?
No, but I'm saying, but you saw the goals that Nunes scored, and you went, "Wow, this guy has something." But Liverpool were a little desperate in that transfer window, I think.
Yeah, and we worked that.
Liverpool lost Sadio Mane and went, shit.
Yeah.
We got Salah, we have Jota, we have Firmino.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Luis.
And Luis, yes.
Yeah.
Luis
Yeah.
is sick.
It's
Yes.
just these price tags are.
Oh, and that's
ridiculous.
just it's especially because it's going to the Premier League, and we talk about the Premier League has so much money, so it's if Antony was going to another club, you probably pay that it'll probably be for less.
But the interesting thing is, and I'm pulling it up on my phone here because it's an interesting quote from Antony's, I guess now former manager, but manager of Ajax, Alfred Schroeder. He said after the move, he said, "Everything is about money. I think this is sad." My issue with that is, it's your team who held out for that money. Because United consistently came in with, okay, we'll give you 80. Okay, we'll give you 90. We don't want to give you 100. And they said, no, we'll only take 100. We'll only take this amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And so what? Are you chirping United? Are you chirping Antony? Are you chirping your own club? Because yes, of course it's all about money.
Yeah.
The world runs around money.
It's a business.
Is he talking?
Exactly.
It's a business.
Is he talking the transfer value money though, or is he talking directly to Antony saying, "You had your club here just because we can't meet United wage bill"?
No, it's not even the
That's-
United. No, it's not the United wage bill. He literally just wanted to go play for a higher chance.
And that's fair. That is fair.
And that's been Antony's stance.
You were gonna say Champions League.
No,
right?
I was not.
I'm like,
I was not.
well,
But from an Ajax perspective, like they've lost so many players this transfer window, key players. They're gonna go into the Champions League and they're gonna struggle.
But the thing is Antony had been clear with them from the start. Is like, yes, I want to leave, but I want to make sure that this is a number for you guys
Mm-hmm.
that you can then get your next Antony, your next whoever. So then you can then build the club afterwards, because this is a record transfer for the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can't rebuild an Ajax like that who has the pull that they've had before. And knowing Ajax, they're not going to use that 100 million on one guy and go, okay, come on into Ajax.
talking about that though as well, I think you guys can agree with me on this. I don't think we'll ever see like Ajax, Porto, like those kind of teams actually go and win a Champions League.
No.
Again,
That's why Jose Mourinho's
before
Porto,
they can't now.
Jose Mourinho's Porto, I
Yeah.
think, is the biggest, is the
One
second
of-
biggest footballing miracle ever. Leicester's first, 'cause
Leicester's
fucking
was
wild.
Yeah.
fucking insane.
But winning it with Porto and the way that he did it with us being so defensively solid is Jose Mourinho's greatest ever testament. That man built himself to be a great manager just on that alone.
Even when he won the treble, I think it was a treble with Inter in 2010. Like that was
but
impressive.
it's like Greg said, the amount of teams today that are just spending billions of pounds.
Yeah.
You can't compete if you're not one of those clubs.
No, yeah, I did make a comment. One of my pet peeves about football is that there is a competitive balance issue.
Yeah.
Among the Champions League, among the Premier League, because it is like the four,
You're
four
not wrong.
4 to 6 teams competing all the time, and it's like sure it's still exciting football, but you want to see something different. Like in the NBA, at least the champions changed here and there.
Well, that's what
That's-
happens in North American sports because there's salary cap, and it's you can only spend the same as any other team.
That's what I'm very interested to see when it comes to Bernardeschi, the basically the Italians, and I guess Shaqiri as well, who came into, and Chiellini, I guess too. Puig is, I can't ever say is the name that everybody goes, it's this way. It's Puig. I'm so calling him Ricky Puig. But they come into the MLS, and that I was thinking the exact same thing. Yes, TFC is sitting there outside of the playoffs right now with Insigne, Bernardeschi, and Crescito all there working their asses off, going out there and playing like it's an Italian league game. But they're sitting there and going, okay, now we're 3 points out of a playoff spot,
Mm-hmm.
and now we have to sit around. And I'm curious to see how they kind of react to now there's 14 teams who are technically a good team in this league now, and then move on into a different type of format where, if you're sitting at the top of the league, then you won. Okay, well, now if you're sitting 14th in the league, now you can win, you know? So, and now at the same time, Bernardeschi, Insigne, Crescito are now all signed to 3-year deals. Now they get to see the parity between this season to next season to the season after that, because now they're sitting there in what, 10th in their division. Next year they could be first in their division, and then the year after they could be 14th.
The thing with I don't love the MLS for the playoffs. I don't love that. I think it should be
I like the playoffs.
I have a lot of fun in the playoffs. I like the MLS for their wage structure.
Okay,
you have a salary cap, but then you're allowed your designated players.
Yeah. Now,
football, I know what you're saying about the money and how Lucas said is the Premier League now a Super League. Football is getting ruined by the huge money spent. But at the same time, look at Nottingham Forest. They're one of the biggest spenders now in world football.
It's all about making.
But again, that's Premier League.
That's the Premier League.
It's about making smart
it's
signings.
What are you talking about?
Valladolid is not going to compete. You know.
I just want to, I think move on because I think we've got a little off topic on that point. And to the Sunday League stories, we had one sent to us by Maurice. Maurice sent us a Sunday League story. My crazy Sunday League story consists of one of the most fiery games I've ever played in the crowd. Abusing players on the sidelines with a car pulled up next to the pitch, blaring rap music on full volume. At the end of the game, after a solid 4-0 win to continue our undefeated run, one of the players on the other team, came and hit one of our center backs and broke his jaw and knocked him out. The crowd erupted and ran onto the field, and it was complete anarchy from then on.
What? Is this Liga Mekis?
So there was a full-on brawl. A man broke his jaw. At some point in time, there was a motor vehicle blaring rap music.
Yeah, he says solid 4-0 win to continue our undefeated run. One of the players on the other team came and hit one of our center backs and broke his jaw and knocked him out.
That's illegal. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's literally assault.
I mean, I think luckily we've all had games that have gotten a little out of hand.
Oh, really? Have we?
Did
the last game get a little feisty?
That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. I got sent off for trying to fight a coach.
What?
Oh yeah.
When?
Wasn't
that like 15 years old?
Yeah.
Really?
Was it provincials or something like that?
No, it was. But it wasn't. Was it provincial?
I don't know. It was right before or something.
Because it was Who was the team we always competed against? What was their name?
It was a Burnwood.
Burnwood.
Was it? It was.
I think it was.
Yeah,
we did not get along.
Really?
We were first and second the entire season.
And why'd you fight their coach?
Their coach claimed that we were dictating the play based on we were screaming at the ref too much. And at the time, my parents were coach. And he confronted both of them.
I don't remember exactly how it was.
He confronted both of them, so I came charging across the field. I'm gonna get involved in this one. So because I left the field of play to get involved, it was a straight red card. We appealed. They didn't even listen to. They didn't even have a statement. They just no, it's a red card. I was like, okay, thanks for listening to what happened. But anyway, that's whatever. I got sent off. I missed the next game, which was either a final game of the season or it was provincial. I don't really remember. I think we lost. I don't remember.
Should we chat about our match then? Because my ankle.
Do we have any other Sunday League stories?
No. My ankle still hurts, but it's nothing compared to Greggy's ankle. Because we
talk about me being injured. I just got injured again. So
yeah.
Why'd you get injured, Greggy? You need to be stronger and better.
Yeah, because this
is my only actual injury.
Yes, you've been good. You retired from football because of injuries. You came back.
The only reason I'm playing is because we actually don't have the players.
But my question is, so then what happened? Was the ankle during the game or was it before? Because I was unaware.
It happened during the game. I just don't remember like exactly what happened because I had like a 50-50 with a guy.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if it was like from that. I guess that must have like initiated. Then like literally right after they just took like, a shot and it hit like exactly the soft spot of like the ankle. It's just like
before we continue with this story, I will say if you do have Sunday League stories and whether they're outrageous or whether just normal, send it to us here at the 90th minute. Whether it's on Instagram, whether it's Twitter, you can DM one of us personally. YouTube comment section, get involved, give us your Sunday League stories. We'd love to hear them. Basically, back to this story though. Our team makes me mad.
No, okay, but the thing is, okay, the last game we went into, which like what, the best team in the league?
Yeah,
they had 11 plus subs, which everybody does except for us.
we had 8.
And we had 8, which eventually again turned down to 7 because Greg got hurt, and that is a nasty ankle. But like why? Okay, but why do we make you pissed off?
Not everyone. Not everyone.
It was probably just it was a bunch of little things that just kind of added up.
I mean, I got grumpy because we were in the game, not in any. I don't think we were close to winning.
And
that
some
game.
dumb mistakes. We get tired, and then it just.
But it was.
Unlucky.
We mentally got beaten. I think we mentally lost that game.
Which, to give context to, again, as mentioned, they had a full team. We had 8, which turned into 7. It was a clean sheet. It was 0-0 going into half.
Yeah, it was 0-0 at half, and then we lost like 2-0, I think. 3-0.
3 because of the pen.
Yeah, there was a pen. There was a goal where it kind of deflected off my foot, and then the guy just took home the rebound.
Oh yeah.
And like honestly, like when it's 8v11, it's tough to defend. There's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was the thing. So my ankle is feeling better now, but my ankle is feeling bad because Waz had to defend 2 guys going into the middle of the box, going in front of the keeper. And then there's a guy who's trailing right in behind. So I turn around. I'm like, uh-oh. Sounds like he's wide open. So I'm like, I try and now cover him. The ball goes to him and he goes for a diving header and he nails the ground. And I'm like, I got to make a move. I'm not very nimble. I got to move. And so he hits the ground and I'm like, okay, I got to jump. I go to jump, but for some reason, he just starts rolling on the ground for no reason. So like my ankle gets caught underneath him. So I'm just like underneath and go over top. And I'm like, my ankle shattered. It's broken. It's broken right here. I'm like laying on the ground. I go like this. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I like stand up, start walking. I'm like, okay, we're good, whatever. And all of his teammates are going, oh my God, are you okay? To him. Oh, like, are you okay? That might have been bad. And he's like, yeah, this fat ass just got in too late and whatever. And I'm like, excuse me? I turned to him. I looked at him. I was like, where do you think you are right now? A golf course? Like what? Was I just supposed to let you fucking score, buddy? And the thing is this guy looked like B-Tech Luca Digne. And he's out here talking shit to me.
That guy, honestly, to be fair, I took him out as well.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You also took me out.
Yes.
Brett did slide tackle me from behind, I may add.
In the box.
I'm standing there. All of a sudden, I'm staring at the sky. I was like, the fuck just happened?
Okay, but there was a big scramble in the box. The ball was free.
I pushed him. I pushed so hard.
What happened at the end?
I thought there were 3 people.
I didn't know I got pushed. I know I went in for a tackle, and the guy looks at me. He's like,
Oh, no, that was a different one.
No, I tried to block the shot with your body.
Oh, okay.
I sacrificed your body.
Fine.
He was coming in from his left to right, and then he cut back onto his left, Gian Sancho-esque. Not as good. But it was Brett behind me, then Waz. I push Waz. Brett tries to fling himself.
2-foot tackle
Goes through me. And all 3 of us are on the ground.
That was the thing. I went down and I just immediately felt the dude's ankle, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not good. That might be a pen." Nothing. Everybody just went their separate ways.
Because it was me.
But yeah, but the thing with yours, what you're talking about, is like literally like one of the last plays of the game, and B-Tech Lucas Digne and me have been going at it all game ever since then. Yeah, yeah. And I like tried to step on his, like I was trying to cleat him a little bit, But we'll forget about that. But he starts coming in with like it's in the 90th minute, like it's out of time, and he's coming in, and I'm just like I'm 2-footing him, and I come up, and my feet were at his knees, man. Like my spikes were right here, and he's like, hey! Like screaming at the ref, going, hey! And then all of a sudden Waz comes in and like is actually engaging in a good battle with him, and then I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden you're on the ground. Well, like what happened? You're on the ground?
Just fell. It was like a tackle.
But that was the thing. Like you were actually battling with the guy. Somehow you get the foul, and he like stands over top of Waz, and I walk over to him. I'm like, what the fuck are you actually going to do? I said to him, I was like, do something. Do something, buddy. And then the ref comes over and he's like, 25, you got a yellow. And at the whole time, I'm just like fixing. I didn't even see the yellow come out. But yeah, I was standing up for the lad. I got heated. Can you feel me right now?
You're still heated.
I think we gotta wrap this up. It's been a long pod.
The thing is that is what the Sunday League Pundits are all about. So you can send in your stories and get involved in this portion of the podcast. I hope you have enjoyed the
Have you
review
made it this
show.
far? Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have enjoyed the review show that we did this week. We have different content. Wow. Wow. Brad has taken his shirt off. From the four of us here, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Peace.